And even 5 answers.
Yes, 5 questions, 5 answers.
Hello, my name is John Convery and this is Michael, and you're back with us here at Retire Yesterday, Live Today. We're delighted you've decided to join us, and we're going to continue to come to you in content form through this video medium on YouTube and otherwise to basically raise your financial awareness to help you thrive in retirement, not just survive. Right, Mike?
Yes, you are absolutely right. And we got a very special show lined up today because we're going to talk to you about the 5 questions that every retiree must answer, because if you don't have the answers to these questions, it's very, very hard to start planning ahead for your retirement.
Very true, Mike. Now, I have no idea, folks. He's catching me off guard. I have no idea what he's going to ask me. Let's just see if he can stump the stumper. Who knew? We'll see.
Yes, well, we're going to keep it easy because the first thing you must answer in retirement before you could really start planning is, what's the grand plan? Many people don't really look at what their retirement is going to look like or what they're dreaming of accomplishing in retirement.
You know, it's such a shame when we were kids. Reminisce about it. You could dream for hours, right? You could imagine being somewhere else, maybe setting foot on the moon in my generation ahead of Neil Armstrong. And now, if you're part of Elon Musk's generation, you're thinking about basically colonizing Mars. Amazing. And to have that spirit of entrepreneurialism, that spirit of space exploration or adventure, whatever it is for you, I tell my clients, or I ask them the question, how do you see your future? Do you want to walk on a rivulated sand beach holding the hands of your peaches and cream granddaughters, hand and walking with her on the beach and throw starfishes back into the Atlantic together? What's your dream? How do you see your future? Because you know what? How you see your future will impact what you do to get there. It is very, very true, is that the way you see your future, if you have no goal, if you have no target, it's almost impossible to hit it. So number one thing you have to know when you're getting ready for retirement is you got to think about what does that retirement look like and build out a rich, vivid picture of that, and we can help you dream big if you want us to.
Yes, you are absolutely right. And once you dream big, that comes into the second question that many people must answer in retirement. And it's typically the first question they try to answer without thinking about number 1. So we're going to go into that because question number 2 you just need to know in retirement is, once you have your dreams, how much is it going to cost you to accomplish them?
What's the price of your dreams? What's your dream? Get that established first. Very, very vibrant and vividly in living color. But then you got to figure out your number. How much money do I need? What's my number at age 65 to live a 25 or 30-year retirement? Now, it's different for everyone. You all have different familial cultures. You have different desires of where you're going to live and what type of life, if it's frugal or abundant travel in the Mediterranean or in St. Tropez. But regardless, you need to have your number. You need to know what that target looks like. And we can help you establish that with financial calculators and also considering things that may be outliers subject to reform in the future, such as Social Security.
Yes, and that is a big thing. You got to make sure you're maximizing Social Security. So if you're not sure how to do that, you can always go back and look at one of our past shows, because that is a topic we're extremely passionate about, because you've paid in all these years. You definitely want to get as much money as you can, right,
Yeah,
John?
no, people don't know. I asked the question, how many times can you claim Social Security? And everybody says, well, John, that's a ridiculous question. Everybody knows that you can only file one time. It's not necessarily true. Do you know there's over 586 different claiming strategies and 2,000 governing rules? You didn't get the memo? What makes you think you know all of the rules? And if you don't know the rules, how can you possibly win?
Yes, exactly. What you don't know will most definitely hurt you, especially when it comes to your retirement. And we're going to segue into question number 3, because once you know what your dreams are and once you know what amount of cash you're going to need to create those dreams and turn them into a reality, then you can ask yourself if you might want to sell your home and potentially downsize, because if you're looking to travel or you're looking to enjoy yourself in a much different way, that home may be the thing that's got to go.
You know, there's a powerful trend going on here, folks. People are fleeing Palm Beach as they enter the retirement chapter of their life. They're moving to Ocala, Flagler Beach, Ormond Beach, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Do you realize in Ocala, for many retirees, their auto insurance is 50% or only half of what it costs here in the Palm Beaches? We love City Place, we love Rosemary, we love the shimmering towers down there, and the cultural art performances there hosted oftentimes at Kravis Cultural Arts Center. Great arts, great restaurants, etc. But there's a high price for that. And if you find that that really doesn't match your lifestyle. Oftentimes, by migrating somewhere else, you can get a beautiful place with everything you could imagine at half the price. My dental hygienist is opining the days, 23 months until she retires, and she's moving to Ocala. She and her husband had a home built there years ago on 7 acres with a beautiful apple orchard, manicured gardens, 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, a 4-car detached garage, and a quarter-mile driveway getting up to the front door. And I asked her, how much would you sell that for today up in Ocala? And she said, oh my goodness, we'd get a high price. I think we would be able to get about $155,000. What? $155,000? You can't get a cracker box hardly in Palm Beach for $155,000.
You're absolutely
They're enjoying, she says, and John, we live near High Springs. We love the springs. We whitewater raft. We have glasses of wine with our friends. We can always go to Daytona for a long weekend, and it only costs us 60% of what it costs to live in Palm Beach. We can't afford it here. My husband retires from the South Water Management District, gets a FRS pension, but we really wouldn't be able to have a nice life here. But up there, we can really enjoy, and that's where our friendships are. So, take that advice, or at least consider it. Maybe Palm Beach is for you, maybe not, but you know what? Think about it. It's all about exuberantly pursuing that picture, vibrant and living color of what your future retirement's going to look like.
Yes, that is definitely something you want to look at. We've been rolling through these questions. We've gone through 3 of them.
Boom, boom, yes.
Yeah, now we're going to roll into number 4, because this is not something we really can help you with, but if you've answered the question if you should or should not sell your home,
right,
and you've decided you do want to downsize and you are going to sell, the next question would be, when is the time to sell?
Well, that's a hard question to answer, and I'm not a realtor, but you can look at Realty Track and CoreLogic. Real estate prices have gone up pretty robustly here in Palm Beach. That's not really my jurisdiction of expertise. But here's one thing to remember. Section 121 of Tax Code, if you've lived in your house for 2 of the last 5 years, it constitutes your homestead. You get the property tax exclusion, but if you bought it for $300,000 and sell it for $500,000 because of appreciation, that $200,000 profit will be absolutely tax-free if it constitutes your marital residence. If you're widowed or single, it's up to $250,000 as a tax-free gain you can harvest, or $500,000 for a married couple. And you're not limited to using that once in your lifetime. You can do serial home ownership if you want. So at the end of the day, really make sure that you don't give up that domicile, that your home is your home when you sell it, because a lot of times people move out of their house, move to another house, and they lose that exemption on taxes. That could cost you $30,000 or $40,000 in the unintended consequence of unnecessary capital gains tax.
Wow, you literally learn something new every day. So number 4 is not our specialty.
But I still know something about it.
But I still learned a lot there.
Have you got the feeling I know a lot about a lot of stuff? You're right.
Yes, that's why you got to tune in each and every Monday. We're going to go into question number 5 right now because we're having a good time. And that is one question I know many people do not answer because they come into our offices and you ask them just that. Mm-hmm. And that is, have you thought or have you put together an estate plan? Because that is something you need to look at, especially if you have assets when you're going to pass away. You got to make sure you have an estate plan in place. That is number 5, the 5th question.
No doubt, no doubt. And listen to me, you Northeasterners from Maryland, New York, Boston, your plans up north don't necessarily translate to avoiding probate and success here in South Florida. And I'll give you an anecdotal story. I had a guy come in the other day, says, John, I live life like a drunken sailor. And the last check I write, I hope it goes to the undertaker, and I hope that one bounces. I've got no one I care to leave it to.
The only check I'd want to bounce.
That's right, but the thing is, absolutely, the thing is, you see, even that individual needs a living will, power of attorney for financial matters. Let me give you an example. Or even in a husband and wife situation. If a husband gets in an accident on I-95 and his wife wants to sell their home to move closer to family, if he's going through speech pathology or rehabilitation therapy, if she wants to sell the home, because they're both on the deed, she cannot sell the home. Why? Because the husband's in compos dementis. He can't sign and transfer his interest away, and she doesn't have the right to sell the house out from under him. The only way she'd have the right is if she had a durable power of attorney for financial matters, which is a living, breathing document. It has nothing at all with to do with the last will and testament or what happens to the estate after you die. It's something that basically helps govern and manage well and privately how you live, particularly during a healthcare crisis. In this time of that little boy, I can't think of his name, the little guard boy in UK who's going to be coming over here for experimental therapy or what have you. Or remember Terry Schiavo. You just got to take it. You got to take care of what you can take care of. And this is squarely in your jurisdiction. Many people come see me and they say, John, I've just procrastinated on my will, but that's not a big deal. Having the living documents, the living will, durable power of attorney is a very big deal. I'm telling you that not as an attorney, a person that charges legal fees, because that's not something I'm equipped or licensed to do. But at the end of the day, I tell everyone I meet, you got to get this done. And there's some great resources to help you do it economically so you don't have to line the pockets of the high-priced estate planning tax attorneys.
Yes, wow, you heard it here, you heard it first. That is the 5 questions that you must answer if you're going to plan to retire.
And even 5 answers.
Yes, 5 questions, 5 answers. You got to know what your dreams are going to look like. You got to know what kind of money you're going to need to get you there. You got to know if you want to move away and when you potentially would have to sell that home. And then, like John said just before, you got to have an estate plan because that is an important piece of the feature. This is Retire Yesterday, Live Today. We'll be back with you next Monday. I'm going to let John close out the show. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys soon.
Hey, listen, folks, I always like to say it's a genuine privilege. Michael and I have had a great time sharing with you. We're going to move on with a breathtaking weekend, but in the paraphrase of the old Irish prayer, I always like to say, may the wind always be gently at your back. May the sun shine warmly on your face. May the low road rise up to meet the high road, my friend. And until our paths cross again, may God anoint you with good health. May you be richly blessed and have a magnificent weekend. Have a great day.